The Super Bowl's over. Now what?
Welcome back, everyone, to the HeyUSA podcast. My name is Nick Garcia, senior reporter, Play USA, and with me, as always, Mr. Brant James, lead writer, Play USA. Brant, Super Bowl is over. What did you think?
It entertained me. It got me to the end. It did what I wanted it to do. I didn't necessarily want the Rams to win. If the game did one thing, it proved, I believe it's sports rule number 425 or 6, which is anytime some knucklehead in the room with you says, there's not been a lot of penalties in this game. Somebody in my room said that with about 5 minutes left. So
with the it was right opening the second half. Bengals score, Rams get the ball, and then I thought that was the moment where Matthew Stafford was having that mistake that you predicted. He throws the interception, but then the Bengals aren't able to capitalize on that, and then that's all she wrote. We know how it ended.
I feel like I was right, but he just got it wrong.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was good. I had a couple people over, nothing too crazy. Had some food. Game was, like you said, game was good. It was close. It didn't end in that 3-point walk-off from Evan McPherson, but it did end in 3 points. I'm excited. It good. You're right. It hit all the notes. Halftime show was great.
Mm-hmm.
I had enough crypto commercials to satisfy me for the year. It was good.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent and weird wrap to a super weird season. So it was the perfect cherry on top, I'd say. And folks were certainly betting on the game. It's really preliminary now. I think they're still literally counting the wadded up dollar bills in the 30 plus states where sports betting is legal and underway. But what we know as of this recording, in Nevada, the holy land of sports betting, 179.8 million in wagers were placed on the Super Bowl, which just decimated the 4-year-old record by $21 million, which I am told is a whole bunch. And according to our friends, I hope we're friends, at Geo Comply, they're the folks that make sure that where you're trying to bet is actually legal. They estimate that roughly 5.6 million unique accounts accessed legal online sports books this weekend, Super Bowl weekend, which was a 95% increase. And I'm bad at math, but I think that's a lot.
So I without getting all nerdy and going deep diving into those numbers, one, it's always expected that the Super Bowl that number is probably going to skyrocket next year when the Super Bowl goes to Arizona. But wouldn't you agree that a significant part of that number is due to the legalization of mobile sports betting in New York?
Oh, absolutely. New Yorkers seem to be spending all of their money. I don't know if they eat anymore, and that could be a problem, honestly. But yeah, New York opening up, and it's just the mainstreaming of it. There was only 2 sportsbook ads. On the Super Bowl. Crypto had at least 3 or 4, including the one from Coinbase, where I had to jump up and scan the QR code. You cheeky little bastards, you got me. But it's I think that the gambling industry is getting what it foresaw, in that, and the NFL and other sports leagues, for that matter, that sports betting is becoming an extension of fandom. And if you're sitting there with it on your phone. I mean, we're all on the damn things anyway, checking the temperature. Even all we got to do is walk outside and punch up a couple of bets on your phone.
Speaking of NFL, before we completely put that to sleep for 2022, you got some odds for Super Bowl champion next year. Is that right?
I did. Let me scroll through. They're hot off the presses, if they have those anymore. The Kansas City Chiefs at Caesars. These are Caesars odds. Are the favorite to raise the Lombardi at plus 650. The Rams defending plus 1,000. The Bengals stinging plus 1,200. And let's go all the way down for the misery index, just because that's really fun. In case you guys really think you think something might happen here. The Jets and the Texans plus 20,000.
Now, if you can find, what are my hometown Chicago Bears favorite at?
They're right here in the nasty, gooey center of the Oreo cookie of betting, as I would like to call it. Like the Chiefs and the Bills are plus 700. That's sort of the crispy
Okay.
top.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you got the Texans and the Jets and the delicious crispy bottom, but everyone else is in that white lardy goo. The Bears are plus 8,000. The same odds as the Panthers and slightly worse than the Steelers at plus 6,000.
Okay.
So there you
Well,
are.
I mean, people can dream. I mean, people put money on the Cincinnati Bengals to make it to Super Bowl last year. So,
Yeah, and Mattress Mac lost $9.5 million with his nasty, jaded bets on the Super Bowl. Yes, beloved philanthropic icon in Houston, but maybe we're not going to hear about him anymore until the NCAA tournament, which is the next big betting holiday of the year.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Dave. One more question. I thought we might get some more of these around our Super Bowl numbers that came out last week. But, how do you assess the early Super Bowl handle figures in terms of sports betting's growth as another facet of the fan experience? Dave?
I can take that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we'll get actual sports betting numbers from every state, but from the handful that do report them and the handful that have done it very quickly this week, it's pointing a very positive picture. Nevada reported a record handle yesterday that was up something like 30% from last year. I think New Jersey just reported their number, maybe as this call started, showing that their handle was up 20% from last year. Which is particularly impressive given that New York is now online, and there were some concerns about how that would impact the New Jersey market. But it's been very strong growth in at least those two pretty mature markets so far. So I think we'll see even bigger growth in the newer markets where people haven't been doing this as long.
And the quality of these playoff games notwithstanding, I think we always knew that sports betting would be really additive to the fan experience and keep people engaged longer. So certainly proving to be true.
I would agree that, once football shuts down, we get that one beautiful month of March where it's just constant basketball. And then, as you adequately put it, the void that is just the gap year or the gap moment in the year where it's you get some of the NBA playoffs, and then you get that really good hockey postseason, stretch to the Stanley Cup. And then with the stance on Major League Baseball right now, it's not looking very optimistic.
It's not looking good. As we record this today, it's a bit of a melancholy moment because for me, the last few minutes of the Super Bowl were always, all right, pitchers and catchers report. Literally, pitchers and catchers would have reported today, February 15 in Florida. I could have gotten in my sensible Subaru Forester and driven out to Clearwater, and I could have heard the literal pop of Phillies, pitchers and catchers, limbering up and shaking off the rust and getting all ready for the season. But with the lockout on since December 2, and two sides that generally seem to hate each other, not even talking, I today bought tickets for the Clearwater Threshers low A opening day and got fantastic seats. So that's my glimmer of hope for baseball for right now.
That's pretty solid. That sounds like a really good time. I'm pretty sure for listeners out there, the MLB lockout is just some crazy scientific metric thing that's very hard to understand. But I was reading a few things today, and basically just to break it down, owners want the ability to control the TV deals in an expanded postseason. In exchange, they want to give the players, they want to get rid of service manipulation, and they would give them the universal DH and 154 games. But right now, the players are like, no, we want some of that cash.
They do. Yeah. The players want to get to arbitration earlier. They want to get paid when they're young and, in their prime or entering their prime and have the chance to prove it instead of, I'm sure that, guys that are 35 and had great careers love getting paid more than they honestly deserve when they're past their prime and like a pool holds deal or something, but they want to get to it and they want to get paid earlier. And I believe the players even offered 14 game expanded playoffs. I think the owners were thinking 12. The players want some incentives to prevent teams from tanking because they know that will compress payrolls, and it just feels like they're really far apart.
It's all over the place. The one, I mean, it's not really a bright side because it's ongoing talks and discussions, but we have lived through a shortened season before. We have lived through a pandemic shortened season. We know what that looks like if the season's cut short. And I mean, as long as, for me, baseball comes back, but these are guys' jobs and careers, and they feed their families with this. So hopefully they can come to a happy medium and get the season going. But it's a waiting game from here on out.
Absolutely. Still waiting for someone to talk to each other, and there doesn't seem to be any urgency, and it will only amp up the anxiety of baseball fans who can literally know that their players, their fantasy league players, their beloved players on their baseball team should be out there getting ready, and they're not.
Yeah. Moving forward, what else we got on the docket today?
I am told that you're going to tell me something about Kentucky.
One would think that the great state of Kentucky, the Bluegrass State, home of the legendary Kentucky Derby, where people have been placing bets on horses for eons, would be on the forefront of sports betting. But sadly, they have not been able to get a bill passed for quite some time. Recent survey came out. We're working on a small story. We're kind of waiting. They're still in their legislative season, but it shows that the appetite for sports betting is there in Kentucky. The hard part is getting past those conservative lawmakers who may be on the fringe and really not see the benefit of legalizing sports betting, which is, much to say in all, red states. It's very hard to get stuff like that passed, but Louisiana was able to do it. Florida did it for a small window.
Power
so
mode.
Yeah. But Kentucky's, the talks aren't dead yet is the main thing we're getting at. They're still working on it. They're still trying to get over the hump. But one would imagine, you're already betting on horses. Why not throw a little bit of money on the Wildcats or the Cardinals?
Kentucky baffles me because, as you said, folks just grow up absolutely marinated in, the bourbon and horse racing. It's just a thing. Yeah. It's just a thing. I don't understand the leap. Why it's so hard to get there.
I can only imagine the money they'd bring in betting on Kentucky or Louisville to win the NCAA tournament. It's there. The money's on the table. Mm-hmm. Instead, you're having your residents hop over to Tennessee, go up to Illinois, where all they have to do is get across the border and they start placing bets.
Mm-hmm. I can only assume that because of the proximity, it's got to be Bengals country, right? I mean, if they had sports betting now, they'd be taking they would have taken all those Ohio dollars across the river.
Yeah. Speaking of, what the state of things, another thing I wanted to touch on is the state of iGaming, online casinos. So that has been a hot topic. There's very few states that have online casinos legal. But Indiana and Iowa have already punted. They're done. They're done for the year. They decided not move forward with their bills. Currently, Illinois is the only state with an active iGaming / online casino bill on the table. Worked on a story today that some Wall Street analysts are saying that if a bill can pass in Illinois, it would benefit hometown Rush Street Interactive, much like BetMGM is dominating online casinos in Michigan. They kind of predict that if they're able to do that in Illinois, Rush Street would see similar results. So we're keeping monitoring on online casino. That should be a big topic moving forward because we know that sports betting is available. Online casinos seem to be the next big thing.
Yeah, it certainly does seem to be at least what the executives of these big gambling companies are thinking of, and it is the next frontier for sure. So, with that, it strikes me again. We're talking about the void. What is the next thing that's going to tide you over? Like I said, I'm wearing my USA men's hockey shirt. Uncle Sam about to come down and have a wicked wrister. Other than that, QB chaos in the NFL. Are you going to be watching Kyler Murray's Instagram feed?
Yeah, we'll see. So with QB Watch, QB Chaos 2022. I don't know what we're calling it. We'll figure out a name for it. Obviously, the big name is Aaron Rodgers. What are the Packers going to go all in? Is they're going to trade him somewhere? Most people, for the past year and a half, have speculated that Rodgers will be traded to the Denver Broncos and follow in the footsteps of the great Peyton Manning. I feel like he's the kind of guy that wants to make his own path. So my hot take for you is that the Cardinals swap Kyler Murray for Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers ends up playing in the Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona next year for the Cardinals.
Oh my goodness, that is a hottest of hot takes.
Yeah,
that is crazy. Like Kyler Murray could like scramble right into a snowdrift and not be seen again. That'd be fascinating. Okay, I'm rooting for that. I'm absolutely rooting for that.
What about you? What's your take? What are you watching?
Like I said, I'm watching the USA men's hockey team. I will continue to watch curling every second that I can. My new Olympic crush is the skeleton. There's just something very Hemingway about folks deciding to put themselves on a sled head first and just fling themselves down that icy tunnel of death. So I'm going to enjoy that, and hopefully everyone gets there safely. Yeah. So that I'm enjoying that until maybe when those angry baseball executives and those players talk to each other and those crazy kids can work it out.
I know we'll be gearing up for, obviously, like you mentioned earlier in the show, March Madness is coming around. So we'll be putting out a little bit of content for that. Maybe not as much as Super Bowl, but we'll definitely be watching how that performs, especially, with the COVID year where that shut everything down. Last year's was, it did well, but we're hoping with the addition of, especially New York, that the NCAA tournament should perform, better than expected.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a deal, I think. And like as we were saying, the second biggest sort of gambling mainstreaming moment, even before sports betting was legal everywhere, because I mean, honestly, those office pools, those were gambling. Folks, you've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
And you know it.
Yeah.
So there we are.
So, I mean, with that, I guess, follow us on Twitter, follow, subscribe. If you have any questions for us, let us know. Let us know what you're watching. What exciting new, are you ready for March Madness? You're finishing the Olympics. Let us know.
I'm going to go clean up after my Super Bowl party now.
Yeah. All right. You guys know the drill.